I have always said that the next pass is the most important when you give it away. So if you give it away, the next one is, I need to keep this ball. That's the certain pressure I put on myself. If I give a couple away, I know the next one I've got to keep it, and then you build yourself back into the game.
How are you, mate?
I'm Wyatt, captain of the U15 team. I play center back. This is my first year with the club.
Okay, my name's Sam. I'm captain of the UPSL team, and this is my 4th year with the club.
4th year, yeah?
Yeah, from the beginning, yeah.
Original.
James, captain of the 17s, and this is my 4th year, center back.
Philip Mayaka, captain Crown Legacy. This is my 2nd year.
Ashley Westwood, captain of Charlotte FC. This is also my 2nd year. Mayaka?
What's up, what?
How are you, mate?
I'm good, just chilling.
Mayaka, I got a question for you.
What?
So being captain for Crown Legacy with all the young players, like, what do you think like your biggest responsibility is to like help them come through?
I think it's just like being friendly to them, like just letting them know like they can ask whatever they want, and also organizing them on the field, letting them know where they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to do.
When they go up, because I know they're not like going to be immediately at the level. And then if you're a competitor, you're going to obviously get annoyed when, you know, things aren't going the way that's supposed to be. When they're up there, like they may not be doing the right thing. How do you address that?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, you can get annoyed, but at this point, if you're a little bit experienced, you have to know like mistakes are going to happen. So you get frustrated, but again, you have to understand. Like sometimes you have to do much than the other guys, but just keep talking to them. Like if you keep talking to them, reminding them every time.
Do you have that problem? Do you have fun to 14s training with you sometimes?
15s, we have the 15s training with us. I think for the most part, they all, when they come up, they'll give 100.
Yeah.
And that's never an issue. I think it's just like, how do you address it without making them feel like you're attacking them?
What if they're not giving 100%? Do you say anything?
Yeah,
Yeah?
for sure.
Love that, love that. That's why you're captain.
Yeah, gots to. I think, but that's usually, for most people in this environment, that's usually not an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, when it is an issue, everyone's gonna get on them. It's not just gonna be you. But it's, especially when they're not doing the best and then your other teammates are really having a go, it's like, how do you now calm them down and calm everyone else down?
Yeah.
So they don't feel attacked.
Yeah, I don't feel like I say a lot. I just say, come on, boys, and
Yeah.
they click in. Like.
How would you deal with like that situation? Like if anyone was in practice, like not giving their 100%?
So that's the hardest in practice, because some days you're gonna have off days. Some days you're feeling tired, but luckily here we've got a good group. Like Marcus said, if it's not just me that are on it, people, you have to rely on your other teammates, and I think that's the way. I think that's the culture we've set here, though, and hopefully it's filtering down to these boys when they train with us. They see the standards we set, so it's, like I said, hopefully it's filtering out through the club and it's creating that environment and a fun environment. I think you've got to have fun when you train. Have fun, but do it properly.
So like, I know you probably have fines, like when someone isn't doing the right thing or whatnot, but if you weren't to have fines and someone is not doing what they're supposed to, like the certain standard they're not upholding or a certain rule they're not following, what do you think, like how do you enforce that? If it's not a fine, how do you enforce that there's some sort of punishment for not doing right?
First of all, the players should take responsibility for what they're doing. If they're turning up late, then that's down to them. But I think you should have maybe it could be like a little punishment. Do they do stuff in front of the lads? Can they sing?
Singing.
You should get them singing. Everyone hates singing in a group.
That's the one, like Brandon, he likes singing. He like, some people like singing, you know? Like, so like, it's like if you like singing and I tell you to go up there and sing, it's like a reward.
Get him in with us. They could sing with the first team.
Yeah, that's what our team does at the end. Like when we're lifting, we all get in a circle and they have to do karaoke at times.
And the boys like it? Or?
Not usually.
That's a punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the discipline like? Is it good?
For the most part, but still, people who are under 17, not everyone's mature, I mean, including myself. So you're gonna make mistakes, and certain people may make mistakes again and again. And if there's no real repercussion, then it's like, oh, what's stopping me from doing this again? No one's gonna tell coach. Like if you don't want to be like, oh, you're not doing this, I'm gonna go tell coach. There's no accountability in between yourselves.
See, that's the thing. Them little things creep in, and they can affect your performance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you start cutting corners outside of the football pitch, then it ends up sneaking into the football pitch. So maybe you should just make them aware of that.
Yeah.
You start cutting corners here, at the end of the day, you'll end up dropping short of making professional.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of standards being a professional footballer. Even the way you live your life out of here. Do you go to bed at the right time? I was a young lad once, and I was going bed late and doing stupid things. But eventually, it hits you, and when you do eventually train with us, it's like, okay, all of a sudden you're down here again, and you have to start living right and doing the right things.
Yeah.
So hopefully they don't find out too late.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'm a captain for my team, but I'm one of the youngest on the team. So like sometimes I feel like it's hard to enforce stuff because everyone's older than me. But how would you like deal with that if you were in my situation, like keeping everyone accountable?
I think the way you do it is, I'm not a shouter and a baller. Like I'll shout on the pitch, I'll organise. But I think for me is the way I train. So I train 100% every time. I'm always there for training. Doesn't matter what age you are. If you're doing things right in training, lads will respect you for that. So keep the standards high in training, and lads will follow you. I've always said that if they don't want to follow you, the coaches will see that and they'll get left aside.
When you're not playing good, you know, like it's hard to lead when you're not playing good. At least for me, I find it hard to, like, if I'm having a bad game, then to yell at someone else to do this or do that. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't because I'm not playing the best. How can I ask them to? It's like, how do you deal with that? How do you kind of wake yourself up out of that?
I've had hundreds of bad games, mate, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I feel like when you're not doing good, now your job is to make the other one do better. Like just to cover, you know what I mean? Like you talking to him is gonna make him better, and he's gonna make you better too. You can't just keep quiet because, oh, I missed a pass. I missed like at least 10 passes at least a game, but you have to keep talking. Like you can't keep quiet. Like you have to make him better, and he's gonna make you better.
Yeah.
I've always found if you talk and you're involved, you're engaged in the game, whether you make a few bad passes, it's going to happen, that's football. But if you're constantly engaged in the game, you're organising players around you, the players will back you up. I have always said that the next pass is the most important when you give it away. So if you give it away, the next one is, I need to keep this ball. That's the certain pressure I put on myself. If I've give a couple away, I know the next one I've got to keep it, and then you build yourself back into the game.
Why don't we all say our best moments as a captain here at Charlotte? I'll go first. Mine was last season playoffs. The underdogs, we were playing Toronto. They beat us earlier in the season, maybe a couple weeks before, and they thought they were just going to walk over us, and we beat them. I think it was, 3-0 or 3-1? 3-1, and we had qualified for the next round. So it was really good as a team for everyone to come together for that game and fight and qualify for the next round.
I'd say probably my favorite. I mean, I haven't been here too long. It's first year, but probably my favorite, we were playing in Philly. We were down a goal, and it was still like the whole game. We were all frustrated with the ref. It was awful, and then but we kept going. Like you could tell the shift in the last like 20 minutes where we started. I don't even know if they connected in our half. Like we were pushing. Then it also helps when I scored. I was the one that scored, so that's like,
banger. You scored a banger.
Yeah.
You left that out. It was a banger.
Yeah, and then I scored. We tied it up, and then we all kind of like came together. We pretty much celebrated like we won.
Yeah.
It felt like we should have lost, to be honest. Like not the way we were playing, but just how it
The
felt.
way the game was going.
Yeah, it's just like we'd make a good tackle, call foul, we'd get frustrated, we'd start yelling, and then just kind of the result of still coming away with a point.
Sticking together.
And staying together. That was probably my favorite.
I'd say mine is this year against New York. We needed a win in order to make playoffs, and we knew that we were good enough to make playoffs. And we had a great start to the year, and then we just dipped a little bit, and we knew that we needed to prove ourselves in this tournament. And I remember before the game, everyone was so nervous. Like we had so many conversations, because I think we've been a team that's been together long enough to tell each other that we're nervous.
Yeah.
And we're all telling each other like, yeah, this feels like a really big game right now. And went down first, second, the off kickoff, they scored. But I think that's the best reaction we had to a goal all year.
Yeah.
It was the first time that after a goal, we picked the ball out the net, went up, no one looked like they were scared, went back, scored, last minute, 90th minute, scored the winner. I think that's got to be mine.
Best ones.
Yeah, I feel like this is my first year being a captain, so we've not done a lot, but I feel like every time we win, like as a captain, you
There's
feel
no
like,
better feeling.
yeah, you feel like you did it, like, yeah. Like, yeah, you push those boys like they were supposed to be.
And there is a responsibility. There is,
Yeah.
You feel the extra pressure.
Yeah.
Do you feel it?
Yeah,
When things aren't going well.
Yeah, I say like we started so bad. It's not so bad, but
Yeah.
like the way we started, so I had to call a meeting because I felt
Did
like,
you?
yeah, like it was 2 games in the season, and I feel like no, we didn't start like this last year. It's getting out of hand. We gotta talk, and we changed it, but it's not like where we want to be. But at least calling that meeting, I feel like
Did it help?
the pressure went down, and people
Yeah.
were like, yeah, we need to do something.
Good, mate, good. Mine was, I think, Miami last year when we won to make the playoffs. Obviously, the stadium was full. There was a certain player on the pitch who was the best in the world, and we beat them. So I think there's the city had a great feeling. So hopefully this year we go one better. We've had to, like I said, I think the hardest thing is when you do well one year, is you have to come back even stronger. You have to set your standards even higher again. So hopefully this year we go even further.
When you called the meeting, because I had to call a meeting too one time, like it was the team's decision to have a meeting. And what exactly did you talk about in it? Did you talk more like tactics-wise? Did you talk more standards-wise? Like what was it about?
We were talking about standards because last year we were the best team in the league. Like
Yeah,
we were
by a long
we
way.
were beating everyone. So and then coming in, like the boys, the lads, like we had like new players coming in, and they felt like, oh, we're gonna be killing everyone, and then we lost some players to the first team, and things changed. Last year it started like this, but we changed things, so you guys can do it. Like all we need is you guys to listen and do whatever the coach asks.
How do you deal with like, at times if the team's feeling something about, there's always going to be, after a couple bad games, there's always going to be people like, oh, why did coach do this? Or why are we playing like this? Or why don't we practice and do this? And I think the first person, a lot of times they'll kind of come up to you, like as a captain, like, why don't we do this? Have you ever asked coach about how do you go about maybe asking the coach, like, oh, the boys are saying this, without you maybe outing them or making them feel like they're turning against them?
To be fair, our coach he sees stuff, he's experienced. But it's usually if the boys are feeling a little bit tired, like sometimes you feel drained. So it's like he asks how the boy's feeling, and that's your responsibility to go, yeah, I think maybe we could come off it a little bit because lads are feeling tired. But here, this year, fortunately, we've been doing well, so my job's been easy. It's the best thing is winning games and doing well, and makes your job easy. But there's certain things where the manager will pull me and speak to me. What do you think of this? And are the lads all right? And I think the biggest thing this year we've got a real professional group who everyone works hard, it makes my job easy. If lads are not playing, they're still training hard. I've got a good experienced group around me, so I can lean on some of the other lads. So I've got Bill Taluma, Jalen, who always trains well, Nathan Byrne. I think as a captain, you need to have players who you can lean on as well, who can help you do your job. So it's not just me doing it. It's at the end of the day, you have 4 or 5 leaders doing it as well. That's what helps the team as well. Done? Yeah. Easy. Didn't even need the questions.
Yeah.